Hello, it is Tuesday, which means it's time for another scheduled in real life video. And this time, we are taking a viewer-submitted question. This one comes in to us from, well, their username should be somewhere on the screen right about now, hopefully. But they ask, hopefully a fairly simple question, but we'll try and dig into it a bit more. But they ask, where do I get all my snazzy jackets from? Which is a simple question. Like I said, we can answer it very simply. I get almost all my stuff from eBay. Like, probably eBay and thrifting, really. Probably 2/3, if not more, easily 2/3, if not more of my closet is thrifted, is secondhand. And the rest is stuff that I either received as a gift or I bought discounted on sale. I don't think I've ever bought anything full price, except for maybe pins and stuff like that. Maybe hats. Well, no, even hats. But pins probably I've bought full price, but they're pretty cheap. But yeah, I'm incredibly cheap. I'm a huge cheapskate. Don't like paying full price for stuff. Super duper frugal. That said, don't get the wrong idea. 100%, tip your waiting staff and whatnot. That's where that extra save money partly goes to. But, yeah, a lot of it comes from eBay. So I guess we can sort of delve into good ideas for doing that. So early on when I got into this, I would say, you kind of struggle with finding out what exactly works for you. First and foremost, when you go the thrifting route, right, you can save loads and loads of money, right? But the trade-off is that it takes a lot more time. It is sort of like a shifting scale, I would say, to where the more money you put into it, the quicker you can get what you want. Whereas if you want to spend very little money, there's very little promise that you'll ever find something that you want for your closet, for your wardrobe. And you pretty much have to, wait around or spend time searching for whatever it is you want. Obviously, a lot of your best deals, depending on where you live, of course, but a lot of the best deals that you get will be in person at thrift stores, right? That takes probably the most time of all because you physically have to go in there. You don't have any search parameters you can plug in on a website. You have to go in. Sometimes you need to try it out. Sometimes you even gotta make returns. But you can save a ton of money by way of doing that. Conversely, if you go through a secondhand site, sort of like eBay, eBay is my preferred site. Not sponsored by eBay or anything, but you can go through stuff like Poshmark or Depop, right? There's no shortage of secondhand websites that resell clothing and stuff like that. But you can plug in different search parameters. You can have it to where the site pings you an email or a notification on your phone if something gets added that meets your search parameters and stuff like that, right? So, right now, this is going to get a little self-indulgent, sorry. But this outfit, these three pieces right here, my shirt, my sleeveless cardigan, some people have said that this is a waistcoat. It's not actually a waistcoat. It is a sleeveless cardigan, the poor man's waistcoat. And corduroy sport coat, all have been thrifted off of eBay specifically. Sort of what you do, you just search for here. All right, let's head back a bit. Easiest way I have found to do it, right, is to sort of combine the two together. Combine thrifting in person with hitting up eBay, right? You will be at such a huge, massive advantage if you've got two pieces of information, or two, not necessarily just two pieces of information, but if you have a couple things in order. First is to know your own measurements, right? That is incredibly important. Know the measurements that you have and sort of the fit that you prefer, right? If you prefer, like, if you're going for a certain aesthetic, some certain aesthetics, they prefer a fit on their clothes to be a little bit baggier and a little bit looser. Others prefer, like, something more, I don't know, in the middle. And then others, of course, prefer something where it's very slim or skinny fit, right? Find that out. Find out your measurements and how you prefer your clothes to fit within those measurements. And then, sort of, if you have the opportunity, when you go out to, like, a thrift store, a secondhand place or whatever, try on stuff, right? Make sure as well that they have a return policy, right? Returns, especially when you're getting into stuff early on, returns can be like a huge lifesaver, because not every thrift store offers returns. Not every eBay seller or like online seller offers returns. So always make sure when you're just starting out and you're unfamiliar with like fits and sizes and stuff, you sort of make sure you got returns as sort of the ace up your sleeve, just in case. There are instances where some places, like if an eBay reseller or whatever, they're trying to sell you something, they don't always pay for the return shipping, right? So you may have to do that out of your own pocket, which I've definitely had to do before, which kind of sucks, but at least you get the main breadth of it back. But regardless, what I would recommend is go to a thrift store, secondhand store, anything like that. Try stuff on within a certain brand or whatever, right? Once you... this sounds like really weird, but if you learn sort of brands and shit that you like, right? And that sort of carry clothes and stuff that fit within an aesthetic that you enjoy, you can sort of learn how those clothes within that brand fit you. So then it's a whole lot easier for you to buy something online without being able to try it on, right? You'll know roughly the measurements of like, okay, this shirt is a medium, right? I know what a shirt in this brand, a medium, is on my body, right? Because I've gone to stores and stuff and I've like either bought or tried on that clothing there, right? And of course you can get stuff tailored and whatnot, but there's a reasonable, I don't know what you would call it. There's wiggle room that you can operate within, and there's spaces beyond that where, tailoring can only do so much. And of course, tailoring costs extra money. One of the benefits as well, hidden benefit of going secondhand, is sometimes, unless you have a really, really like niche size or preference, you can sometimes find clothes that have already been altered and tailored to your size on a site like eBay. Like, for instance, I think that this sport coat, when I found it, I haven't had it altered at all. And when I got it, it fit remarkably well. And I was able to look, because a lot of reputable eBay sellers will either like just openly list garment measurements and stuff for you to compare against your own measurements, or you can just ask them, and like most good sellers on sites like that will like give you the information if you want it, right? And of course, you have to kind of take it with a grain of salt. Not everyone's going to measure the same way, right? But like I said, by and far, super duper important to know your size, your measurements, and then sort of become familiarized with at least one brand and how that stuff fits on you, because it'll make like shopping online significantly easier, because you can pretty much be like, oh, I know that all the shirts from this company in this size fit me pretty well, right? Occasionally there's going to be one where it's maybe been altered, or it's like from a newer or older run that you're unaccustomed to, right? Like a different subdivision of lines. I forget what the specific term is, but like a different, like chaps versus PRL, right? That could be potentially a different sizing. I don't know if it is though, but regardless, helps to have the return policy in your back pocket if you need it. But yeah, that's sort of what I would recommend. Try stuff out in store, get familiarized with something, and then go from there, right? It really opens a whole lot of doors. You can get really, really like absurdly nice stuff for at minimum 50% off the MSRP, right? You can make a killing on that. Or, well, not make a killing, but you can save a killing's worth. It's pretty good. Totally recommend it. And of course, it's like super great for the environment, right? Going secondhand, it's incredible. Even just having like one or two pieces, you know, I think there's something where someone says, if everyone had just one piece of secondhand clothing that they use on the regular, the environment would be so much better off, or something to that effect. Because I believe last I checked, the like clothing industry accounts for like, it is the second most polluting industry on the planet, second to like plastics or fuel, something like that, right? But it is absurdly bad, especially nowadays when you get into stuff like fast fashion, you know, your sorts of Sheins, your Temus, junk like that, your Fashion Nova, where these things are built they're built with planned obsolescence in mind. And even going forward, you know, folks will sometimes just get these and wear it like once, if that, right? I've seen no shortage of like Instagram posts and whatnot where people will just pick something up and toss it, not even wear it. Pretty wild, pretty bad as well, because a lot of these fast fashion ones, they incorporate a lot of synthetic fibers and fabrics that don't break down very well at all over time. But like I said, going secondhand, you can help alleviate that. And as well, secondhand currently, a lot of it is flooded with kind of really high quality stuff, right? Like I said, this is a vintage like corduroy sport coat. This sleeveless cardigan, all lamb's wool, right? This shirt, it's all pure cotton and stuff, right? All stuff that's going to work out over the long term. And like I said, super duper cheap compared to when you first get it. I absolutely 100% recommend checking out going secondhand with stuff like that. You don't even have to get like a whole bunch of pieces and stuff, but yeah, that's where I get all my stuff. Like I said, highly recommend familiarizing yourself with a brand and all of that, which you don't have to become like a poster child for that brand and be like, well, I love this company or whatever. You don't have to do that at all. But it 100% helps if you're familiar with that when you're going secondhand shopping, right? It helps so much. And of course, like I said, knowing your own measurements, super duper important. Probably like, I don't know, the most important facet of clothing, of fashion at all, is knowing your measurements and how you prefer things to fit on your body, right? Absolutely invaluable. I think that ought to do it for this week's, right? I think that covers everything. As always, feel free to send in more viewer questions and whatnot. I'll add them to the list. Geez, absolutely love answering questions about clothes. Got to be said. All right. Until next time, please take care of each other.